And that's what I love, my lady. Thank you so much for joining us. And today we choose to celebrate you.
Hi, Kuma. You're finally okay.
Trish Waboraro.
Yes, ma'am.
Sound
of Worship.
Do you sing?
I do.
Oh,
but where do I even start? Wahalalela, 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 chesoa, halalela, motimoa, rona, kimotimoa, rona.
I'm like, but God, I can talk. I don't think my voice is that bad. I won't give up best thing.
We start in the shower. We all start in the shower. Graduated from the shower to the, to the studio. Yes, ma'am.
You're from Sound of Worship.
Sound of Worship.
Tell us about Sound of Worship.
Sound of Worship is an initiative that I started about 4 years ago.
Okay.
After I released a book called Worship Leader Manual.
Okay.
Basically, what we do with Sound of Worship is we train praise and worship teams. Yes.
Okay.
We do mostly spiritual and the practical aspects of worship. You'll notice that talent is not an issue. Talent in singing and everything else is not really the problem that we have. But when it comes to worship, there's a little bit more than just your voice that we actually need. So what we need is something behind your voice. So what Sound of Worship does, it trains on the what's behind the voice in praise and worship teams, and not only praise and worship teams but the congregations at large. Because what we have noticed is sometimes we train the praise teams and they know what to do and they can do what they can, but the church lags behind. But worship is basically the center of the church and center of what this thing is all about. Worship is what we have been created to do. That's the first and the only thing that you've been created to do. Any other thing that we do is a by the way. So now when we focus on worship to say, okay, the spiritual aspects and the practical aspects of worship, including music dynamics and the like.
Let's go back to where Sound of Worship. Sound of Worship was birthed by Worship Leader Manual. That's a book that you wrote.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it the only book that you have?
No. It's not the only book that I have. I have a book also called Broken, and they are still in the cooking. Some of them are still coming.
Okay. So my question is the transition from a book to now having to train people. How did that come about?
How did that come about? I'm a worship leader. So I'm a worship leader. I have a passion with this thing that I do. So when I put it in a book, I noticed that it's not only enough to put it in a book, because it's not everyone that it's not everyone that is a reader even though we must all be readers, but it's not everyone that loves reading for the whole day. But some actually catches it better, and sometimes even when you speak, it's much better than when you read it. There's a little bit of revelation that comes when somebody tells you face to face than when you're reading it on a message. Yes. Wow. So then we had to transition from the book to training praise and worship teams. We go across Botswana, we grow across churches. It's not a denominational thing where we go to a certain church or to a Pentecostal because I'm Pentecostal, but we go to every church that invites us. We get there and we teach worship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about the range or your style of writing. Your books are based on Christianity.
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing else.
Yes, ma'am. Even if I talk about life, for example, Broken literally speaks about being the stuff that we go through in life that breaks us. But in everything that we do that breaks us, we still come back and we still need to worship God in our brokenness. So at the end of the day, what I do is I can take leadership. For example, there's a manuscript I'm working on leadership that also speaks through the Christian basis. Yes.
Oh wow! And then now's the sound of worship. You keep saying we.
Sound of worship is me.
Okay.
And I'm trying to avoid saying I.
Okay.
But in as much as sound of worship is me, I do have young people that I'm working with. I do not only train praise and worship teams, I also do mentorship. There are young people that come to me and say, listen, I am a public speaker, or I do this, and I want, I want somebody who can mentor me and show me which way to go. So what I do is, with Sound of Worship workshops, we give platforms, to people that there are some that are beauticians in there, they do nails and makeup and all that. There are some that are public speakers and motivational speakers. We give them a segment in the workshop so that they can come and showcase what they have and come and speak to the young people. And we had a workshop in Pico last year where one of our young people actually went there to Urua di Kukutamai. So he had to go to Pico and speak to the young people. Sometimes this is where you come from, Mobotsolom, but this is not where you're supposed to end. This is how you can actually fight life, and this is how you can make it work for yourself. So we are not only worship, where we just come and lift up your hands and worship the Lord. No. We empower you. You can worship God in your business, in your profession. So in any way, you can be a nurse and you can come and teach about something, and that is your worship to God.
Yeah.
So it's not literally just the songs that we sing.
Okay.
That is worship. Yeah.
Nice, interesting. So every guest that comes here, I always ask them this question, because not everybody has it all figured out. Some people are still trying to figure out what is it that they're good at. Some long figured it out a long time ago, and they worked on it. At a very early age, and now they're superstars, the likes of Beyonce. And then how did they realize that, oh my God, this is what I'm gifted to do, and this is how I can work on it and make something out of this thing that I'm really good at. Some people are still struggling. Find out that thing. Have. So what was it like for you, having to discover this gift that you have? When did it happen? When did you know that this is it for you?
I've always, I would say I've discovered everything that I am and that I do today in worship.
Okay.
My worship started in the background, Kelewani, having been broken by life. And I decided, listen, this is what I'm going to do. Then I noticed that I actually have, it's not just me worshiping, I actually have a passion for worship. I joined the praise and worship team, and the one thing that always stood out for me is the not really the wrong things that they were doing, but the loopholes.
Yeah.
If they could do this team would be really good. If he could do this. So it was almost like when I get into a team, it still happens even today. I get into a team and the first thing that comes into my mind is, okay, he and he needs to fix 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So, but most of the time, what we do as, human beings, when I get in and say, okay, Miss GK, she's good at this and 1, 2, 3, 4, I criticize.
Yeah.
Little do I know that is actually my passion. That is actually an area that if you notice, that could be what you've been called to go and fix, since you got to figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Interesting. How long have you been writing? How long has Sound of Worship been in existence?
We've been in my first book, Sound Worship Leader Manual, was actually published in 2016, and that's when we started Sound of Worship.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this for 4 years now.
4 years.
Yes.
Is the book available? Is it accessible?
Yes, it is. Yes. The book is available for $200. You can get it go Bala Books in Royal Park. You can get it with Sibilo Books. Yes.
People always ask me this question. It's always hard to answer, so I'm going to pass it on to you.
Okay.
What do you love about your job?
Oh my goodness.
From the artist, so what do you love about what you do?
I think it's me. I feel like it's part of me. I feel like it's my skin and my everything. So it, in as much as another person looks at it and feels like, oh my gosh, that's so exhausting, I do it naturally and it just comes, and I don't struggle with it. So I think it's one of the blessings that I appreciate God for. Like, it just comes naturally, that and I love it. I feel like it's who I am. You pay me. By the way, we don't make people pay when you do these workshops. We go into a church and we do it for free. The only thing we tell them is, when we ask to come to your church, please invite other worship teams, please invite other people, and that's the only catch you have. Yes. So you can pay me, you cannot pay me, I'll still do it, even in my sleep.
That's your act of service.
Yes.
It makes you happy. As long as you've done it.
It fulfills me. It's
that's all that matters.
That's true.
Interesting stuff. Help a listener who is trying to figure themselves out and they're just trying to figure out that we don't want to more hungry. And I think we should shy away from saying such negative things into our lives. And I would love for people to really tap into who they are and find that one thing that they're really good at. You know, since you have discovered your gift and you've discovered your purpose and your assignment, what would you like to say for those who are still trying to figure themselves out?
I think the only formula that actually worked for me to be able to know what I do now, even beyond Sound of Worship, is, like I said earlier on, I worshipped. One of the things that we miss in life is the one sole purpose that we are created for. Is why was a human being created? A human being was created to have a relationship with God. A human being was created to have fellowship with God. And the moment that element is missing, you have so many questions that you cannot answer. And unfortunately for some people, they die at old age and they still haven't put their finger on the thing. That this is exactly what I'm called to do. This is exactly what I need. And this is what fulfills me. So the moment you have that fellowship with God, the moment you have that relationship with God, you're going to discover a lot of things about you. You're going to discover so many things about you. So I would say if you need to know who you are, just go back to your maker. Just go back to God.
Back to your maker.
You know, I've seen people, and I've had, moments where I felt like something was missing. And sometimes it manifests in hunger. Have you ever eaten and you're still not full? Or you have done anything. Some people end up being hooked to alcohol. They can drink as much as alcohol as they can. But there's this thing, this void in them that's still not being filled. Some people can do sex in the most craziest way, but there's still that thing that is missing. Some even go to the extent of doing drugs. But that one thing that needs to be filled is the place that God needs to take, and that only thing can only be filled in worship. So the moment you feel that thing, that's what satisfies you. That's what it makes you full. Not in the physical. Your soul becomes full. You become content. You may be doing a job that you're not being paid, but you're content. It gives contentment. So is that one thing that I would say to somebody out there before you can look for anything? Because sometimes we look for so many things out there. There's some of us that run to be married, and we think we're going to find that thing in marriage, and it's not there. Some of us, we look for a post, we overstep anybody and everybody to go up there. We get the director, whatever, but you still can't find that. That thing is found in worship. That thing is only found in worship. We can do all the things and everything that we want. If this thing is missing, you can achieve everything. That's why even they'll tell you money can buy you happiness. It can buy you stuff that can jinx you for a moment, but when the excitement of that thing goes away, that thing tells you, I'm still hungry. There's still something that I need. And that thing can only be filled in worship.
Do you do one-on-one mentorship?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I do. Just call me.
We all need mentors. I think everybody needs a mentor in life.
I do. But one of the greatest mentorships that you can actually have is to undershadow someone. You know what I mean? To come and watch somebody do something. There are certain things that I can teach you, but there are certain things that you can catch. So my mentorship, when people come to me and say, I want you to mentor me and I want you to do this and that, I say to them, okay, come, I have a thing called Sound of Worship. We go around. Your job is to avail yourself.
Yeah.
Your job is to watch me do this thing, and you will catch something. If you are on fire for something, it's just a matter of time. 5 minutes later, I should have caught what you have. So basically, that's how we.
Oh man, you're blessing my day. Thank you so much for coming, my lady. Are you available on social media?
Yes, I am. I'm available on social media. I have a Facebook page called Trish Waboraro. Yes.
Okay.
And Instagram, Trish Waboraro. I also have a YouTube channel that I actually is still new, and I'm trying to develop it, and it's still Trish Waboraro.
Trish Waboraro.
Yes, ma'am.
My lady, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Ms. UKs.
I think I should come for a one-on-one, class with you. Solve
Anytime.
Some issues of self, if you know what
anytime.
I'm talking about. Your last words to our lovely listeners.
This year we have been, like I mentioned earlier, that we actually go around churches in different customs, different churches, and host these workshops. We have already 5 workshops that has been scheduled in different places for 2020. I think we still have 2 more that we need to squeeze in. And the first one will be in Mopane on the 7th of March. And if you go on my page, you'll keep on getting more details. And Molepolole will be on the 4th of April. And Palape, we're going on the 23rd of May. Kopong, we have the 27th of June. And Matseta, we have the 26th of September.
And all these days are available on your Facebook page.
They're all available on my Facebook page. Everybody should remember that all these things, we do them for free.
Yeah.
Your job is to come and to drink as much as you can and be inspired as much as you can.
Amazing stuff. My lady, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms.
Trish Waboraro, the magic behind Sound of Worship. Amazing stuff. At exactly 2:25, 2:30, we do have Botswana Stock Exchange coming up, Black Coffee, and David Guetta Drive.